I was out with some friends of mine from uni. And what we normally do, as you know, is when you're out with friends, you normally talk about the old times, right? So we were talking about the old times, and one of them said something which kind of really got to me. He said, you know, I wish we could have the old times back, the good old times. And I turned around to him and said, hold on, I don't think I'm even old enough to have good old times, okay? But then it made me think, what do we mean when we talk about the good old times? We all talk about it, right? I wish we could have the good old times back. You know, what is it? You know, when do they happen? Why do they happen? And what makes them happen? And wouldn't it be great if we could actually know that we're in the good old times before we actually leave them? That would be great, right? The good old times, I feel, are firstly symbolized by the times when we really believed in ourselves. You know, do you remember when you were a kid? Suppose you put a Batman outfit on, or suppose you put a Superman outfit on. You actually believed that you were the character. You'd climb up the tree, you'd jump around, you'd jump off the sofa knowing that you're actually Superman or you're Batman, no other thought in your mind. And you know, as we grow up, we kind of lose that. We kind of lose that ability to imagine. You know, but what we're told from up there is that if you want something in life, the first thing you have to do is imagine it and believe it. See, how many of you wake up in the morning and think there's more to life than what you have now? You know, how many of us think that? How many of us think that we wake up in the morning and we think there's more to life than what we have now? You see, Allah put us on this earth with a gift, right? We're all endowed with a gift at birth. And that gift could be cutting grass, it could be haircut, it could be teaching, it could be inspiring, it could be anything. But that gift is what makes you feel alive. And in order to get inside that gift, you need to believe in yourself so much. You see, when you're standing on the cliff of life and you see people soaring past you, the question we always say is, I wish I could be them, right? I wish I had what they have. How lucky are they? But the truth is, it's not about luck. That maybe these people are actually living inside their gift. And how do you live inside your gift? Do you know what it's about? That when you stand on the cliff of life, you've got to stand there. And you've got to peer down. And you've got to believe in yourself. And you've got to take the risk to actually jump. Don't jump. If you don't jump, and if you don't live inside your gift, and if you wake up every morning thinking there's more to life than what you have now, that's not living. That's just existing. And as I look around each and every one of you, all of you have been with me on this journey over the last year. And what I can say is that all of you, to be here where you are now, you have huge belief in yourself. All of you have so much belief in yourself. And for that, that's box one of the good old times ticked off. So look at the person next to you and with a smile and give them a huge high five, because that's box one ticked. Power high five. Good old times. The good old times are secondly symbolized by how we look at pain and how we look at struggle in life. You see, when you're a kid, do you remember ever being depressed? Do you ever remember letting one little thing hold you back so much? No. Even though we didn't know it, those pains and those struggles were there to grow us, right? On the back, that's what was happening. That Allah puts these struggles, He puts these pains, He puts these objects in front of us just to allow us to grow. But as we grow up, we forget that. We let failure, we let pain hold us back. You know, the best analogy I can think of pain and growth is the lobster, right? What's the lobster? The lobster's a mushy animal, and it's encased in a rigid shell. And the question is that if it's encased in a rigid shell, how does a lobster grow, right? How does it grow? See, when a lobster grows, it feels immense pain. It feels constricted. It feels so much pressure. And the only way it can grow is it goes under a rock and it sheds its shell with so much pain, and it waits and it builds a new shell. And then it goes on in life. And then when it grows again, it feels that pain, that pressure, that confinement. It goes under a rock, it breaks that shell, and it grows. You see, the only way a lobster grows, the only stimuli a lobster has for growth is pain. But the funny thing is that what if lobsters had doctors? It would turn up at the doctor, and the doctor would prescribe it a Valium, right? And it would feel better. No pain, but then no growth. So my point is, how many of us in life do that? That the first sign of pain, the first sign of struggle, the first time when we feel we're depressed, we straight go and reach out for that. Not understanding there's a much bigger picture as to why we're feeling what we're feeling. And what I can say is each and every one of you in here, you understand the concept of pain, because that's why you're here. Because you understand the pain you're going to go through today is the gain for tomorrow. And that's huge. And that's so much respect to each and every one of you who are here. So you know what? That's box two of the good old days ticked off. So look at the person next to you and give them a power high five, because that's box two ticked off. The good old days are thirdly symbolized by the people who we spend most of our time with. You see, when you were a child, who did you hang out with? You hang out with people who would actually make you feel good, right? Your friends. You'd laugh together, you'd play together, they'd believe in you. They would make you the best version of you, right? That's who we used to hang around with. In the jungles of Africa, every single morning, a gazelle wakes up. And the sole purpose of a gazelle is to outrun the fastest lion. And every morning, in the jungles of Africa, a lion wakes up. And the lion's sole purpose is to catch the slowest gazelle. You see, but the gazelle is only interested in itself. That's its problem. That from the moment it wakes up, all it wants to do is feed itself. So it goes in the meadows and it grazes there. And when it smells a lion, it runs. And it runs like hell. And while it's being chased by the lion, it runs. But the moment the lion stops running, the gazelle stops running. Okay? The gazelle will only run when the lion chases it. The gazelle needs an external force to actually motivate it. But the lion works on a different level, right? He wakes up in the morning and his sole purpose is to feed its family, to feed its community, to get better habits, to get more strength, so he can go out and catch the slowest gazelle. It doesn't need any external motivation. So the point I'm trying to make here is that the people you spend most of your time with in life is the person you're going to become. If you hang around with gazelles, and if you run away from things, if you're scared of things, if you don't take opportunities, if you don't make things happen, then you'll become a gazelle. But on the other hand, if you hang around with lions, they're the ones who get the best out of each other. And as I look at all of you, the one thing which is so amazing in this group is about how much you empower each other. That all of you in this group are leaders. And you know what a leader is? A leader is a lion. And each and every one of you in this group is a lion. So that's the third box of the good old days ticked off. So look at the person next to you and give him a huge lion high five. And then lastly, the good old days are symbolized by our view of the world. You see, when we were small, we believed this world's a beautiful place, right? How could Allah create a world, which has any flaw in it at all? We believed the world was a place of beauty, of love, of compassion. But as we grew up, things changed, right? We saw what goes on around us and our tint of the world changed, right? Now, somehow we don't believe that this world is a great place. But I feel this world is. And do you know what tints our vision? Is the news. Do you know there was a recent study done which showed that the news is 10 to 1 negative. So for every positive news story out there, there's 10 negative news stories. But it's us, right? Because we feed off that. We wake up in the morning and the first thing we do sometimes is we check the news. The first 20 minutes of your day that's when your brain is most receptive to actually take things in. And what you do in the first 20 minutes of your day sets the tone for the rest of the day. So you wake up in the morning and you read about muggings, about deaths, about killings, about rapes, and then we think about why we don't have great days. Maybe we need to turn off, okay? There was a suggestion made to Ariana Huffington a few weeks ago. Okay? They said that in the Huffington Post, what if you had a little slider on the front page that we can control the percentage of positive news compared to the percentage of negative news? That's an awesome idea. Imagine if we could wake up each day actually listening to positive things. What will that do in our life? I've learned this year being with all of you is that this world is a beautiful place. And why? Because everyone here, our community, we've got such a beautiful community because each and every one of you are more concerned about the person to the left of you, person to the right of you than you are to yourselves. Now that is huge. And I think that we live in a beautiful world if only we turned off the negative stuff. And that is the fourth box of the good old days ticked off. So look at the person next to you and give them a huge high five. So I got some news for you. All four boxes of the good old days are ticked off. So do you know what? These are the good old days now. That one day you're going to turn around and you're going to say, I wish I could have those days back. So while you're in your good old days, make the most of it. So let's get up. Let's give 5 power high fives to the people next to you. Let's meet near that blue line over there. And we're going to start the morning with a huge sprint. Let's go. 5 high fives. Let's go. Awesome. Brilliant.